Let's talk about a guy who, coming out of college, I was interested in. I thought he had a good season his final year in Pitt, but, was older, and I was kind of worried, this just one of the things where you're older than everyone you're playing against, and that's how you're able to succeed? So I was, interested in how his rookie year would go, but definitely a little bit cautious with how it would go as well. But I was very pleasantly surprised with his performance this season. So I want to talk about it all. I want to talk about the good, the bad, everything in between, because it wasn't all perfect, but a lot of it was good, and I thought this was overall a promising rookie year. So let's just get into it, starting off with this play. So you see how it works. That's his first read, just a tight end trying to get kind of in a gap in coverage past the middle linebacker. Okay, simple enough. As you see, Pickett is going to take the snap right here. He is going to look over the middle, and it's not open. Okay. Pickett, what do you do in this spot? You were looking in that direction. That's where you wanted to make this throw. Unfortunately, you cannot make the throw there now. However, there is a player underneath that's open. Get to the check down, right? That's what you want to see him do, but it's not so easy. I mean, he is, he's a rookie quarterback. You don't expect him to be able to see the field this well. You don't expect him to get through the progressions this well. These things take time to learn. But, one of the things we talked about with Pickett was we felt like he was one of the more NFL-ready players, and he certainly showed that this season, I thought. Watch him be able to hit the check down and then, gets rewarded by, player underneath making a good move. That's not going to happen every time. Warren did a good job on that play, but still, it's going to happen sometimes. And again, the old expression, can't go broke making a profit, but it's more so about just the field vision, realizing what's going on, and being able to kind of make plays when things don't work, which is something that was a big question mark coming into the season that I think he answered in a positive way. Also, we had something like this, where what's going to happen on this play is it is a zone coverage play, and you have a receiver trying to get into a gap in coverage. Okay, simple enough. This time, though, when Pickett takes the snap, he's going to look downfield, and there, again, is a window this time. So last time, don't make the throw. This time, you could make the throw. Now, it's worth noting the situation. It's a third down, and they have to get to the 50-yard line, so that's definitely worth noting, as this could be it's a big play, and being able to convert would be key here, but it's tough. It's not wide open, and you could even argue it's a bit risky, but this is the risk worth taking, right? You're throwing it 20-plus yards down the field, or at least close to 20 yards down the field, which would, push the ball back even if it gets intercepted, and on third down, it's an opportunity to take, especially when there is a window. And watch this throw. Really it's a pinpoint throw exactly where he was trying to get. Great catch for sure, and then a step over on top of it. Definitely got to give credit to the catch, but also Pickett put it in a spot where only his receiver could get it, so there was no risk factor there, really. It was either going to be a completion or it wasn't, and it was a completion. This play definitely got a lot of people excited in Steelers Nation, and I get it. This is a very exciting play. I think I saw this as I'm pretty sure I saw this on Twitter with one of those, if Mahomes does it, the media goes nuts kind of things. But here's what happened. It's a man coverage play, and it's actually going to end up being Najee Harris's route, going underneath and then eventually going towards the end zone. That's going to be the key route, but it's not the key thing to watch at the beginning of the play. Watch that Baltimore Raven edge rusher. Watch what he's going to do here. Look, he's going to win. I mean, he's going to be able to generate a pressure and force Pickett to get outside the pocket. This is a tough situation for Pickett. He has to throw going towards his left. He's a right-handed quarterback. It's not so easy to make this type of throw. On top of it, the way he's looking towards Najee Harris isn't really open. The one thing he has, though, is that the player covering Najee Harris is not looking towards Pickett. He's got his back completely turned. So Harris can adjust to the ball, and Pickett knows that. That's why he's making this throw. Watch him make this off-balance throw perfectly, and they're able to get the touchdown. And that was a game-winning touchdown on top of it. So just an incredible play by Kenny Pickett to be able to pull that kind of thing off. That's like a superstar caliber of play. So the fact that he's capable of that stuff is certainly cool, because again, he's a rookie. Who knows what's going to happen with the rest of his career? It's so hard to say. But what we do know is that he's shown that he's capable of really good things, and that's kind of the first test. You don't expect a rookie to come out and just immediately be awesome. That almost never happens. It happens sometimes, but almost never happens. But what you hope happens is he at least shows enough that you can feel pretty confident about going into the next season, and he certainly did that. Now, we can talk about some negatives if we want to. I mean, one thing that definitely people, it became a meme early on of, oh, Kenny Pickett loves to throw picks, right? Because it's in his name, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, I'm going to get into kind of why I think it was overblown in a second. But first, let's talk about, I mean, he did have some plays where he tried to fit it through a window where he probably shouldn't have. Like this one's an example. You can see, again, could fit into a gap in coverage, but you have to wait until you know if it's going to be a good throw until after the play. We can't say for certain if it'll get open now. We have to wait a little bit. So Pickett takes a snap, looks there, which is the correct decision. And I think what happened here actually is I think Pickett misread this play because it's going to actually be a cover 3 zone, but it kind of was set up as though it's a cover 2 zone. Again, they're playing very far off because they're just protecting the 14-yard line on a 3rd down and very long here. But the player I've circled in black for Miami, that is someone who started off being further deep, and I think Pickett expected him to remain further deep. These are the kind of things that you don't have to deal with too much in college. You don't have crazy disguises. They're just hoping that, usually in college, when there's a crazy disguise, it's just because someone didn't know what they were doing, right? In the NFL, these guys are so smart. They can disguise things so well. It's just an adjustment, and we saw Pickett make some rookie mistakes because he was a rookie. That's fair. Look, he makes this throw. It ends up getting intercepted. It's a lesson right there. It really is a lesson. Make sure you don't make that type of play, which, again, I can understand how it could happen for Kenny Pickett. But yeah, I mean, that happened. That's fair. But like I said, I think some of the interceptions were a bit overblown. Like something like this, interceptions, it's not a bad stat necessarily, but it can be a misleading stat because there is a good amount of luck that comes into turnovers. And like this play is a good example where it's Chase Claypool, the now former Pittsburgh Steeler. You see the route that he's running. Pickett is going to take the snap. He is going to eventually look towards Claypool, who is open a little bit. He makes the throw. Claypool falls down, and it gets intercepted. The whole point was Claypool was supposed to go up and get that ball, but then he slipped, and then next thing you know, it's intercepted. It's hard to, again, slipping happens. It's unfortunate, but that's not a bad play from Pickett. That's a good play from Pickett. It just ends up in an interception. Sometimes that happens, and it happened with Pickett more than it happened with other players. He was unlucky, and the statistics back that up. His turnover-worthy play rate was significantly lower than his actual turnover rate was, which typically, turnover-worthy play rate is a lot more consistent than turnovers are, and you expect the turnovers to go down, even if his decision-making doesn't get better, but he's also a rookie, so you expect his decision-making to get better on top of it, and so because of that, that's kind of the hope for Kenny Pickett, is that, I think he played well as a rookie. Can he continue to play well? Because, again, you see the 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions and say, oh, what a mess. You can't just look at that. I actually thought he had a very good rookie season despite his 76.7 passer rating. There's more to it than just passer rating. I was impressed with his performance, even if the box score stats don't back that up. Can't always look at box score stats. Listen, they're a fine tool to use, but you can't always just look at them. Certainly, there's better ways to pay attention to it. I think if you pay attention to the better ways, you'll see that Pickett is good, at least for a rookie. Again, there's room for him to improve. He is not like a star quarterback just yet or anything like that, but I don't know. It was impressive, I thought. PFF's 18th highest rated quarterback as a rookie doesn't happen too frequently. Listen, at the same time, you could look at this and say, well, Baker Mayfield had a great rookie season and then never really, amounted to much after that. Mac Jones had a great year 1, not a great year 2. It happens. Who knows with quarterbacks? Nobody knows anything, right? We're all just guessing here, but it's an optimistic first season and there's signs of life, but we'll have to continue to wait for a couple more years until we can say anything for certain about Kenny Pickett. At least that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.